Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about my little Gransfors Bruk hatchet. This is their smallest model, I believe, and I love this thing. I've had this for several years. You can see how worn it is. This thing is just really cool. Obviously one of the best companies out there for these types of tools, hatchets and axes and so forth. The logo here is getting pretty worn off over the years. The one thing though I don't like about this is that this wood is chewed up. Look at that. And it's not for me swinging this and hitting things. This actually came like this brand new. Just when they made the little handle here, whatever it was, the wood was like kind of chipped out and stuff. Now, when I first got it, it was pretty rough. I'm talking like, I think I even got a splinter at some point from it. But over the years, the wood kind of worn down a little bit. All this stuff is mostly rounded. So even if I go against the grain here, it doesn't really hurt. I'm not getting any splinters or anything. It's pretty broken in, let's say. But what I want to do is try out a cheap wrap. All right. So I went to the fair recently, and any locals to the area, you can let me know if you were there. Maybe we passed each other, didn't even know it. But I checked out the Hartford Fair. All right. What an awesome fair. Now, I could probably make a whole story time video about it. Had a really great day. Ended up spending like 10 hours there with my family. My parents showed up and they were there for a little while and left. My sister and my niece and nephew showed up. Vinny happened to be busy, so unfortunately he couldn't make it. But yeah, it was just awesome. Just fun family time. However, they got a lot of rain the day before. And the parking lot, which holds hundreds and hundreds of cars, I would probably have to guesstimate maybe 1,000 to 1,500 vehicles can park in these, field sections that they have. But it was nothing but mud everywhere. And so many different vehicles were literally getting stuck in the mud. In fact, it was the first time I got to use my Toyota Tacoma, for the purpose that it was built for. I got an off-road version of it so that I'd have this four-wheel drive capability and, great suspension, all this stuff. And I have to say, I am super happy with it. It was a cakewalk getting out of thick mud. Now, the truck is absolutely filthy and it does need to be washed now. But that was a good feeling, that's all. If I showed up there in a sedan, I'd be really worried about getting stuck and probably would have gotten stuck. Now, if I had my RAV4, there's a decent chance I probably could have got out of it. But with the truck, I had no concern at all. It really just throw it in four-wheel drive. I didn't have to put the locker on or anything like that. It took it awesome. So as just an aside, it's nice having a truck. But anyway, the reason I'm telling you all this is because while I was at the fair, there was, they have all these vendors all the time, different food vendors, and get all the fair food, right? All the fried stuff and the Oreos and all the junk food and crap food for you. Then you, of course, have all the rides for the adults and for the kids, and then you have the games. The games are always cool. I love the games. I don't spend as much money as I used to, even though the games are fun. It's tough as an adult, spending anywhere from $5 to $10 to try to win a 30-cent stuffed animal. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's for the fun of it. It's not really for the prize. It's more about the bragging rights and the excitement of winning. But I'm a little over that at my age. But I do still do that to try to win stuff for my niece and nephew, because that's always fun. Or maybe get something for my wife, which I've done before as well. But then you have the vendors, the people selling stuff. Now, sometimes you get vendors that are like garage sale type stuff, semi-antiques. They're really just vintage things. It's usually not antique. Then, undoubtedly, no matter what fair you go to, there's always going to be that one vendor that just has like Oriental trading type bulk Chinese cheap stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they're always in like boxes, and you could tell me you could find this all over the place. Flea markets, there's always that guy or that lady or that couple, right? That just has the cheapest of cheap stuff. I mean, I'm talking like, 50-cent pack of bungee cords that just won't hold twice, without breaking. Tape that doesn't stick, the cheapest hammer in the world, that kind of stuff. Like super affordable tools that you like, lesser quality than Harbor Freight. I mean, this is some pretty low quality stuff. These guys and gals are buying this stuff in bulk. They might get a pallet of hammers for, I'd have to imagine, $50 or something. you know, and they sell the stuff super cheap, so it's tempting. Now, usually, you know, I scan right past that. I'm not, you know, I've lived a while, I've been there, done that. It's not worth your time, even if something is 50 cents. However, walking by, I was very intrigued by this wrap. They had a bunch of different colors. This is the only one I was really interested in because the other ones were kind of bright and some of them pretty feminine. They had a bunch of different, you know, pinks and purples and stuff like that. But they had the camo, and I decided to buy it. It was $1, and I thought this would be great for like knife handles, you know, hatchets, things of that nature. So I'm curious how good this stuff is. I don't know. Like I said, it was $1, super cheap. This is the wrap that's supposed to wrap on itself. I didn't even take a look at it since I got home from the fair. I'm not sure if this actually wraps on itself or if this is literally tape. And it seems like it is, if I get that string off, it seems like it's just tape. So, I don't know. I'm still going to wrap it anyway. I thought it was the stuff that wraps on itself, but that's okay. It's a fabric type tape here. So we're going to go ahead and do a little wrapperoo on this hatchet. All right, so hopefully it gives me a little bit more grip and it's a little more comfortable. All right, so I want to do this nice and tight. I'm actually going to probably do this off camera so I can try to get it nicey nice. But I'm going to start here for you. All right, so that's the initial wrap. So I want to get this nice and tight and even all the way down to above where this lanyard hole is. So I'll be back. All right, so we are all done. So yeah, I mean, because it's like literally like a cheap glue, the top of the, the top of the wrap itself feels a little tacky. It actually feels a lot better than the wood itself. It is, you know, has a slight texture, almost like a fabric Band-Aid type thing. But as of right now, it's actually, it's too heavy to stick my fingers, but it's a little sticky. You know, it's obviously a little sticky from the tape residue, but I'm assuming, you know, once I use it a little bit, that stickiness will go away and it'll just be a little grippy. Now, as far as looks, I mean, maybe it would look better if I wrapped all the wood, but I don't really care. In this case, I'm going with the function over form. I like the camo compared to just a solid color, although for something like this, maybe like a blaze orange, you know, hunting orange or red or something like that. Something that's super visible. So if you're using this, you know, midsummer, spring, fall, you know, you drop it in the woods, maybe it's a little easier to find. I don't feel like I'm going to lose this in the woods, but you know, maybe it's consideration, but it gives me plenty of real estate here. Obviously, if I want to choke up on it, I don't have the wrap here, but that's totally fine. I'm not that bothered by it. A lot of what I'm doing here is just, you know, I'm just finishing off some wood splitting. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I'll have to actually use it to see how it feels overall, but right now, like I said, it's just a little tacky, which definitely helps with grip. I don't imagine that's gonna last forever like that though. And we'll see what it's like if it gets wet. But yeah, just took a little chance there. I absolutely love this tool. This is fantastic for just finishing off chopping smaller pieces of wood. So like, you know, when I'm splitting wood with something large like a maul or an axe, and I get down to, you know, smaller pieces that are already, you know, pre-split, that's when I grab this guy, you know. So I'll do a bunch of large stuff first, and if I want to continue it further down, I don't use a big axe. I grab this little hatchet, and I'll just, you know, work the way on top, like give it just a little bit of a smack. Once it bites into the wood, I just, you know, literally hammer this down over a log, and it just splits into smaller pieces. So it's fantastic for that kind of stuff. You can use this to make some like feather sticks. It's not as easy, even though these are, you know, this one happens to be razor sharp, and I do maintain it. I just prefer fixed blades for that. It's just, you know, easier. I can get a thinner edge to do that particular task a lot easier as well. But yeah, hopefully this will help out with you know, some grip. It was just, you know, one of those things. Last second I was walking by, I'm like, you know, for $1 it's pretty cool. Actually, my wife pointed out. You know, I probably should have got some more. I mean, for $1, I don't know. You know, it's kind of cool. I can find a bunch of different uses for it. So anyway, that is all. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.